Hey everybody, and welcome. In this video I will be showing you guys my results using the waveformers, so let's get into it. I did see on Nappy Headed Jojoba's channel her use the waveformers, and she says she pre-soaked them, so I'm doing the same. Okay, I put some apple cider vinegar and some Dr. Bronner soap and let it soak for about an hour or two. And with each pack of waveformers you get, it comes with a hook. It's very flimsy, very cheap, but that's all I had, so I had to use that. And all you do is just slide that waveformer down that stick and you can get to installing it on your hair. So I am doing the style on wet hair and I'm using small sections. Make sure your hair is thoroughly detangled. I have to do that, especially for my 4B, 4C hair, because if you don't detangle first, it's just going to be very tedious. So I did get 4 packs of the waveformers, so I did get 4 rods. So I did add those waveformers on the rods first, just so the process would go a lot quicker. I am going to use mousse as my styler. I'm using the mousse from the Main Choice. I'm first going to take that small section, add the mousse. I'm using about 3 pumps. Twist your root. You're going to get the stick and hook it on to the root of your hair. You're going to pull the base down and use your other hand to pull the rod through the former. It's pretty simple, pretty straightforward, but you want to be very careful and take your time because you can end up ripping hair out if you're not careful. If you feel like it's a little too stiff and you can't pull that rod through easily, then start over. Do not just yank your hair through because you will pull out hair. You will pull some hair out. So I did see these waveformers going around on the YouTube streets. I saw a couple girls using them and I was just like, yes, I want to get them. So I had to, and most people said they were on eBay. And for me, I don't use eBay personally. So I looked on Amazon, and I did find a seller that was selling them. I will make sure I leave the link down below if you need it. So I did order a pack of 4 and it has 12 waveformers in the pack. So in total, I have 48 waveformers and 4 of those rods. Each pack of waveformers cost $8.81. So in total, I paid $35.24. I placed my order on February 28th and I did receive them on March 25th. So yeah, about a month. These were being shipped from China, so of course it was going to take very long. And I believe the length of these waveformers are 22 inches. So applying these waveformers is pretty straightforward. It's pretty simple. It actually goes by very smoothly. It didn't take any time for me to install them. It took about 2 hours for me to install them just because I did one half of my head and then on the other side I got a little lazy, was getting a little tired, but it probably would have only taken me maybe an hour and 30 minutes. But because I was getting tired and restless and I did this late, it took about 2 hours. So like I said, you want to take your time when you're installing them just so you do not rip any of your hair out. And you want to make sure your root is really twisted tightly because you can get hair caught and you can pull those little hairs out. So I did mess up a couple of times. And like I said, if I couldn't pull that rod through easily, then I stopped and redid it and started over again because you do not want to pull that rod through if it's tight. If you feel like your head is hurting, then something's not right. Okay, take that out and redo it. So I don't get the purpose of them having two separate colors. They're both the same type of wave, so there's no difference. And I used all 48 wave formers on my head. I do want to quickly mention that my hand was throbbing and hurting. You can see it's really red where my pinky finger is because of that cheap rod. It has a very cheap plastic handle. So as I was pulling on that rod, it was really getting uncomfortable. After doing about half of my head, my hand was getting really sore, so you want to be careful with that. So I was finished with the style at around midnight. I did let my hair air dry till 12 in the afternoon the next day. These are pretty easy to sleep on because I lay on my stomach anyway, so I just laid on the side of my face and it was perfectly fine. But then I did go under the dryer for about an hour just to ensure my hair was thoroughly dry. To take the waveformers out, you just want to squeeze the base of that rod and just pull it down, and it's just going to come right out. I would like to mention that my hair did get caught on some of these waveformers. These are very cheaply made and your hair can get caught in there or snag, so just be very careful. And if I had to compare these to curlformers, they are pretty much the same in my opinion. The reason why I don't really like curlformers, and I was supposed to do a video on it and I didn't, but here's my little rant about the curlformers and the waveformers. I am very tender headed, so anything can cause my scalp to be super sore and super tender, and that is what happened when I used the curlformers and when I use these waveformers. It's the same exact thing. So with curlformers and waveformers, you have to, of course, insert your hair into that product, and that causes tension because this product is weighing down my hair strands. It's weighing it down. It's making my scalp super sore. So that's mainly the reason why I don't like waveformers, curlformers, anything like this, because it just causes my scalp to be super irritated. Flexi rods do not do that. Regular rollers do not do that. That never happens when I use those. I also don't like that I can't control how my ends look while doing this style. And you'll understand what I mean more towards the end of this video. But if my ends are curly in the waveformer, then it's gonna come out curly. With flexi rods, I can lay my ends on the rod how I want it and smooth it down, and I know my ends are gonna come out very smooth and how I want it. But when it comes to waveformers and curlformers, you gotta hope that it just comes out good. You never know. So after taking everything out, my hair has very good hold, it has shine, and right now it's just reminding me of back in the day when people used to crimp their hair. It literally reminds me of that. So I'm going to start to separate and fluff and try to make this look as good as possible. And I was running into a dilemma, okay? I was running into a problem because it started to look super piecey and my hair just didn't have the volume I wanted. It just didn't. It just looked super flat and super dead like, and I really didn't like that. So I kept separating and fluffing, and you can see my ends are really frizzy. They are very frizzy. They aren't smooth, like I said. That's why I don't really like using waveformers and curlformers, just because I can't control my ends unless my hair is blow dried, because I know my ends are going to be straight no matter what. After trying to separate and fluff my hair out even more, I gave up. I completely gave up and threw my hair into a bun and left the front of my hair out because I had to leave the house. And yeah, I was just like, okay, well, this is a fail. This is a fail, okay? But then I put some makeup on, got dressed, all of that, and I said, okay, don't give up. Let's take this out and see. Maybe I can fix it. Maybe I can do something. Maybe. So after doing all that, and I kept the side part, which was working for me, I started to really love it. I was like, okay, it's starting to get a little fuller. It was just looking really thin and too flat for my taste. Okay, you guys know I like volume. So I fluffed it even more. I pinned one side, you know, my signature pin, because I always pin one side back. And yeah, I actually really liked the style. It actually started to look really good. I got a lot of compliments the day I wore this out, and you guys really love this picture I posted on Instagram. That's this hairstyle. As you can see, it's the same hairstyle, and you guys were loving the hair too. So I really loved how it looked. My husband at first was skeptical, but then he said he loved it. So it turned out to be a win-win. It turned out working in the end. Okay, so even though I may get a sore scalp with these, I'm still going to use them. I still like them. I really like the look. I love the waves, and I'm definitely going to try it next on blow dried hair or even partially stretched hair to see what my results are. And this style only lasted about 2-3 days. I really wasn't expecting it to last any longer than a day. So yeah, I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. Give this video a thumbs up if you haven't already. Subscribe to my channel, guys. Subscribe for new videos. And I'll see you in the next one.